All right, now let's get the other side of this debate. And Pete Snyder is here. He's an ally of Governor Bob McDonnell, the chairman of the Virginia Victory Fund, which is a GOP political action committee. And you heard Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz talk about the president's trips to Virginia. She said it's just the president being the president. Do you have the same view about the way the president uses these White House trips when he comes to places like Virginia and other swing states?
Look, I hope the president continues to come to Virginia because the more time he spends here, the more unpopular he is, Ryan. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. Millions of Virginians actually had a lot of hope, and they bought into Barack Obama, the candidate, and have been shocked to see, one, the lack of focus on the economy, the dismal record that he's had so far, and then also look at the tone of the campaign that he's running right now. It's not hope and change, it's scare tactics all along. So I welcome the president to come to Virginia. It is the #1 battleground, and he has a very poor record to talk about on the economy.
All right, let's talk about today's primary here in Virginia. Are you disappointed that your party wasn't able to field more candidates than they did?
Absolutely. Look, we would have loved to have had all 4 candidates. You know, this Super Tuesday is a little bit more like U-Crops, a little less like U-Crops, a little bit more like a Soviet grocery store as far as options for folks. So it would have been great to have them all in. Unfortunately, some of them didn't get their acts together in time. But that said, this is the first step to November. We have a very, very motivated base out there. Intensity is not going to be an issue for Republicans moving forward.
And you heard the DNC chair call this the most divisive primary in history. Are you concerned as a Republican that your candidates have spent too much time beating each other up?
Look, I feel, and especially tonight, I think this thing's winding down. Our party's getting their internal business settled, and we're going to be ready to move on and focus solely on the economy and solely on the president to November. So I'm not really worried. I mean, if you remember in 2008, I think the Democrats waged war, epic war, till what, May, June or so. So no, I don't really view this as an issue.
And do you think it's time to move on? I mean, there's been a lot of talk about these social issues. We talked about the economy. Is that going to be the overriding issue?
It absolutely is. The #1 issues across every single demographic, independents, Democrats, Republicans. The economy, I mean, we're hurting still, Ryan. We've turned some things around in Virginia, but we're still hurting. So that has to be the #1 issue. And the road to the White House goes straight through Virginia and right on the economy.
Okay. Pete Snyder, thank you for joining us. We appreciate your perspective.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right.